If you've ever started a film or any creative project, got discouraged by it, and then abandoned it, then this video is for you. I've fallen into that trap many times. I'll start a project, I'll be all excited about it, and there somewhere along the line, I'll just lose steam. And that could be because I lose interest in the project, or I lose confidence in myself, or I'm just too exhausted by the process. Whatever it may be, I am no stranger to starting and quitting. And this YouTube channel is even an example of that. I mean, I started this YouTube channel 4 years ago. The original vision for this channel was for it to be an animation channel. I would do animated videos. I did a couple, and then I just got burnt out when the views weren't coming, and I quit it altogether. And here's the truth, the creative process is just really messy in general. And when you have nobody keeping you accountable, it's just too easy or too alluring to quit. So in order to avoid that, I thought I would share a clip from a recent interview I did with a documentary filmmaker. His name is Sebastian Solberg, and he shares a story on how he gave up on a documentary for 2 years before he ultimately decided to return to it. And not only did he finish it, but he finished it beyond his expectations. I thought it was a very inspirational story. Hopefully you get inspired by it as well. And then afterwards, I'm going to share my 4 takeaways from the video that you can apply directly to stop quitting your projects. Have you had that experience of in the middle of a project realizing it's not working how you intended and abandoning it? What was the first time that happened, and how did you overcome that ultimately?
Yeah, all the time. And sometimes I think especially in the early days that I abandoned projects a lot more because I didn't see the value then of finishing them. Whereas now I'm like, every project, no matter how terrible it is, there's value in finishing it. I can't remember on the top of my head of one of the first ones, but the one that was most, I guess, significant that I abandoned for a long time was a film called One Breath. And I left that for 2 years on a hard drive because I went out and filmed that documentary and I was so excited by it. And I'd found this couple on Instagram, and they were free divers, and they'd set this world record and they were doing amazing diving feats, and I flew out to where they were at the time and put all my savings into this project. And I arrived there, and we had like I think a day of filming, maybe half a day of filming. And basically the following day they said, "I'm really sorry, but we're gonna have to cancel the rest of the week filming because we've just had something come up and we're no longer able to do this film." And I was like, I've put all my savings, like I'm not able to work over this time because I'm filming here. And I was just like absolutely broken. And I was like, oh. And at the airport, when they kind of dropped me back at the airport, they also said, "Oh, by the way, I have this hard drive of footage. It's just some archive footage from our last couple of years." And I kind of just put that in my backpack and didn't really think about it. And I was like, oh, this could have been such an amazing documentary, and I'm a failure, and I'm just no good at filmmaking. Like a few months later, I looked at the footage and I was like, oh, this is just like random footage. How am I going to make this work? And it wasn't until 2 years later that I was like, I really, really should do something with that film. And going back to what I said at the start of the importance of working with people and asking for help and accountability. And I got an editor to basically have a look at the footage and help me go through it. And we worked together over a couple of months and eventually kind of found a story that worked and a through line. Got a sound designer to help do the sound design, and a colorist and a composer to make the music. And we had a finished film, and that film got shown in over 100 cities around the world and won lots of awards and shown in different festivals, and it was amazing. And it could have just been left there on a hard drive and never been seen or finished. And so anyone who's making a documentary, I always say, like, no matter what, even if you do like a shorter version of the film, always finish the documentary, because you never know what might come from that project. I mean, people are even now sending me emails, and it was like, I don't know, that film was maybe 9 years ago that I started filming that, and I'm still getting emails now about people saying they were really inspired by it, and that blows my mind, because that film almost didn't get made.
Yeah. So here are my 4 takeaways from the video so that you can stop quitting your projects. Takeaway number 1, it's never too late. In Sebastian's example, he came back to his project after 2 years. Like, I know for me personally, if I gave up on something 2 years ago, kind of like that animation channel, I probably would not have returned to it. However, in Sebastian's case, he came to it, and not only was he able to finish it, but like I said before, he finished it beyond his wildest expectations. The film got into a bunch of festivals. It really resonated with people, which still blows him away because, like he said, it almost never got made. So just know that if you step away from something, it doesn't mean it's over. And you actually might need to have that time off to be able to return to it and execute it better than you could have. Because that's also the other thing. Like, when you're in the middle of something and you're burnt out or you're discouraged, you probably won't do your best work. So it might be good to take some time away from it. But just know that when you take time away, don't forget about it. Come back to it when you have the energy to do so. And that leads me to takeaway number 2. Don't do it alone. Sebastian came back to the project, but he didn't do so by himself. He decided to hire an editor to take a look at all of this footage that he had and see if there was a story. The editor came in with his own fresh set of eyes, his own perspective, and he was able to help see what was there and probably see something that Sebastian couldn't have seen. And that's the real value in collaboration. When you're so close to something and you're working on your own thing, it's very easy to feel discouraged by it. It's very easy to hate everything that you see, to think you're terrible, to think the project is terrible. So sometimes you need someone else to come in who doesn't have any of those biases. They can just come in and look at it very objectively and tell you if there's something that's salvageable. And I guarantee you 95% of the time, something is salvageable. So don't do it alone. Bring in collaborators. That could be the best way to reinvigorate a dead project. Takeaway number 3, change the scope. Something that really struck me in what Sebastian said was he always tells his filmmakers to finish a project, even if it means doing a shorter version of the project. I thought that was a really brilliant idea because it's very easy to get locked into what the project needs to be in your head. Well, I set out for this to be a feature-length film, so now it has to be a feature-length film. Whereas sometimes that can be really overwhelming and that can be really discouraging. So if you then limit the scope a little bit and you say, okay, I'm not gonna do a feature film, I'm gonna do a 5-minute short film. Is there 5 minutes of this project that I can save to tell this story? It can be a great way of no longer being overwhelmed by the project. In the example of my animation web series that I was doing, I was overwhelmed by just the volume of work that I had to do to keep up a weekly upload. It was a ton of work. And so that discouraged me, so I gave up. If I were to change the scope or reduce the scope, I could say, okay, instead of doing a weekly video, I'll do a monthly animated video. That's about 1/4 of the workload. Or even if that's too much, maybe I'll do one every couple months. And at least by doing that, by reducing the scope or changing the scope in some way, you're still accomplishing the goal. You're still getting the project done. And getting the project done is 100% a win. And that leads me to my final takeaway. Takeaway number 4, finishing builds momentum. When you decide you're gonna give up on something, it plants a very unhealthy seed in your mind. And that seed is, I can give up. If you give up on something, you're telling yourself, giving up is okay. And so the next time you encounter any friction in your project, you're likely just gonna resort to giving up because you did it before, you can do it again. And the more failures, quote unquote, you accumulate, the more projects you give up on, the harder it becomes to actually finish something. Because now you just have a lot of proof of having given up. Whereas if you finish something, even if it's a smaller scope, finishing it is a win. And you tell yourself, I am not the type of person who gives up, right? You cast a vote, in the words of Atomic Habits, you cast a vote for the person you want to be. You cast a vote for being the type of person who doesn't quit on projects. And that can only serve you, certainly in the filmmaking business, but any creative venture you choose to embark on. And you'll get to the point where giving up is just no longer a question. Look, I'm not there yet. I'm trying to accumulate wins with this YouTube video, with this YouTube channel. Every video is a win. Every time I get back into the field field of YouTube, I'm casting a vote for being the person who doesn't give up entirely. So I'm not perfect, but I'm certainly working on it. And I hope that this video has helped you at least to give you some practical takeaways that you can apply to hopefully stop quitting your own projects. But trust me, I'm there with you. It's okay if you have quit in the past. It doesn't mean that's who you are. It doesn't define you, and you can change that now with the next project, the way Sebastian didn't give up on his own. If you like this video and you found it helpful, please consider subscribing to the channel. My name is Maximilien Blanc. I do filmmaking tips and filmmaking motivation to help you get your films made. And please consider watching the full-length version of the Sebastian interview. It's part of this ongoing interview series that I will be doing on this channel when I have the time for it, where I interview filmmakers and other creatives. It's meant to be a companion piece for those times where you feel like you're about to give up, or those times where you feel like you just don't have enough gas in the tank to keep going. Hopefully these conversations can help reignite the spark and make you realize that you're capable of achieving whatever it is that you want to achieve. So thank you for watching this video. Please leave a comment if anything was helpful, and I'll see you in the next video.